Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Simple Story Saturday, a scrapbooking collaboration and YouTube hop. And the host of this hop is Joanne Bartel, and she is also the mastermind behind it. This is the photo that I'm going to scrap, and I'm going to use that fishing net, and it says Gina Marie, but think um, art by Marlene instead. It's just in there. I've got two Tim Holtz dies I'm going to use, and Simple Stories Vintage Coastal. And the paper, I had a hard time deciding which paper. I liked them all pretty good. Uh, the one that I picked is this one, and I thought it'd probably be the hardest one to use, and it wasn't too bad. I generally navigate toward the B side and leave the A side alone. But every now and then, I go ahead and go with the A side. And the back side of this is one, well, that coral color. Oh, it's pretty too. So it's a hard time deciding which one. I do have the 6x8 paper pad, so I pulled this sheet out to use for my photo matting. And I was thinking I would put part of my title on that top part there. But then I decided I would put the little, well, the twine in there. I have some kind of a dark blue twine and, well, and white. And I thought I'll put that in there. And I thought, is my words going to fit? Oh, yeah, they will. I've got enough room there. So I will put part of my title on that top part and not just leave it uh, empty. And I originally planned to cut along the edges, kind of like a scallop, round off the ends of the wood planks behind the photo. And I started to, I had scissors in my hand and everything, and then I decided to do some tearing instead. So I had to be very mindful of how much I tore since I cut it down so much. Because, you can get started tearing and just end up with practically nothing if the paper is this small to start with. So I was pretty careful with it. I considered going ahead and putting memories on the top there, and it fit. It looked like it would fit pretty good, but I was afraid it'd kind of blend in too much with the wood. I needed something that wasn't quite so much the same because it is a wood grain, but it has printing on it. I'm kind of thinking it's a map, and I used Tim Holtz Varsity so I could have a different color for the outline to help it show up just a little bit more. So uh, the outline part is basil cardstock. It's Lagoon. I thought it'd go pretty good with the colors that are in the on the page. The other three words are also Tim Holtz, and it's called Vacation, and it says by the sea. So my title's Memories by the Sea, and the photos of Hope, and it was a couple of years ago, 2020, and they were at Gulf Shores on vacation, and the other little girl is her cousin, Anne, Anne, best friend. So there was a lot of pictures with hugs. It's just too cute. But they were looking out at the ocean, and I thought it'd go perfect with this paper. As I mentioned, the fishnet art by Marlene, and it's Studio Light, and I think it's called something like Fish Tastic. So it's Fish Tactical, maybe. It's probably if you keyed in Studio Light art by Marlene and fish, you'd get it after all. But yeah, it's got a separate set that goes with it that are fish, but I already had fish, so they're on the other side of the package, so I could keep them together. My flowers, I cut them, fussy cut them out of one of the papers that had a whole sheet of those flowers, and those girls was so good to wear a color that went with this paper too. But yeah, they both have a color on that goes perfect with this color of flower. This is going to be my largest cluster. However, it's not going to be much larger than the next cluster, but it is going to be a little bit bigger. And I am just layering some flowers with the leaves and stuff, some seashells, a heart or two, a couple of hearts. And the little sign says just beachy. And then there's a little lizard, and of course, it's going to go on there. He is just too cute not to use. I'm I'm wishing I had more than one. Just to tell you the truth, I am. I do have a die, but this is smaller and a little more delicate, and so yeah, he is just the cutest little lizard you ever saw. And looking at that cute little lizard, I noticed the white droplets of paint right there beside him. And thought, oh no, I forgot to add some white droplets of paint because, the background had some. I wanted to add some to my stuff. So I went back in there just now and did it. The last photo will be with the droplets. However, I was dropping it all on and I put it on the flowers too. And I noticed it sunk right in. It did not stay on top. So I put more deliberately. Well, looking at it now, it is still sunk right into the flower. What color did I say those were? The coral colored flowers. But there will be drops other places because it didn't sink in everywhere, just that color apparently. But well, I am working on that other cluster over there to the left. I want to mention that down there below you'll find links to everybody else that are doing the Simple Stories Saturday, where everybody will be using simple stories. And it is one of my favorites. So I do have quite a bit. So I will be in this collaboration for a while because it's only once a month, the fourth Saturday of every month. So that is something I can look forward to, right? And you all too, maybe. If you like simple stories, you get to see. I think there's 11 in the group now. We added one more this month. So 11 people with 11 ideas of using their simple stories. That phrase sticker I just added is like a definition kind of thing, and it says, a place of bliss, a region of supreme felicity or delight, hence a state of happiness. And down there on the left, there's kind of like, well, it's not an inner tube. It looks more to me, looking at it myself, it looks more like a porthole or something off of a ship. But it says living the good life. And I'll see me move that flamingo around. I really wanted it on the layout. So it's going to end up over there, even though he's facing off the page, because I figured the girls aren't looking straight ahead either. They're looking off at the ocean. So I figured he'd be all right looking off the page. And I did start putting that cluster down. Before I remembered, I saved a chunk of the fishnet to go over on that part right there. So I had to kind of pull a little bit up and do a little bit of tucking, but not too much because I remembered it pretty quick. I think I only had like 3 things on there. But I have thought about getting this collection since like 2020 when it first came out, and then it came out again in 21. And I still didn't get it for the photos from Gulf Shores because I still had several to scrap. So this is new to me, even though I've had it like 2 months. But it is new to me. And yeah, I wanted it for these photos. And I had a hard time finding it too. I thought, man, if I don't get it now, I'm not going to get it because I looked at it quite a few times and didn't do it. But yeah, when it's hard to find, that's when you grab it. But I have noticed it a couple of places in the last week or two. Well, you know how it is, you put notify when you get it again. I got some of those emails, that's why I noticed it. They've got it now. I'm going to add a little bit more up there by my title and my phrase because it looked kind of blah. It needed a little bit more. Y'all know I like more. So I am going to add a little bit more. I'm going to be very conservative though. There's not going to be that much more on there. And I pulled this flower out thinking I'd use it and realized I didn't finish fussy cutting it. So I had to stop and cut a little bit more. I should have just looked over in the tray and figured out a different flower, but I didn't. I just went ahead and cut on this one. And I'm going to add a heart with it. I don't think I've added any hearts yet. No, I haven't. No, yes, I have, because I can see one anyway. But I'm going to add a heart up there and I think a couple of more hearts. And then the sequence, and I will be done with my layout. My first layout with this collection. I was really tempted to use the one that was totally mixed media and didn't have anything uh, printed like on here. I mean, I didn't have the boat and the lighthouse and stuff. And did y'all notice I totally covered that lighthouse up? It was not my intention to do so, but there was a lighthouse to the bottom right, and I just covered it up. I just didn't even notice it either. Um, yeah, the sequence are summer sunset, and they're just getting sprinkled around, and that's it. And my layout is done. And I had a lot of fun too. Such a pretty collection. Of course, I'm going to have fun making the layout. And yeah, if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. But there is the largest cluster, and there is the one that just almost is as big, and the flamingo that made it on the layout after all. Yeah, because I really wanted it on there. And there's my title, and it is Tim Holtz Varsity, and then Tim Holtz Vacation, ones that I use for the title. And there's the girls by the sea. I edited my grandson out. He was sitting there right by the edge, and he looked pretty small, but he looked like he was coming out of Hope's forehead. So I edited him out instead of leaving him in there. But thank you all so very much for watching my video, and I hope you have a happy, scrappy week and have fun on the hop. Bye.